Hi friends, in this video we are going to see how to add pagination to a grid. Now whatever you are seeing is a grid, okay? And underneath the grid you could see the pagination, like the number of pages uh, the data is available. So generally the pagination is required when the number of rows is more, okay? So in single grid, you cannot display and even it will occupy a lot of memory. So to avoid that, we need the pagination. Okay, if I click on the page 2, automatically it goes to the, like that, you can scroll between the pages and you can also increase the, you can scroll down along the pages and for example, I need to go to the 9th or 10th page. Okay, so it shows the content accordingly. Okay, how to do this one? This is what we are going to see in this particular video. Okay, so the first part is we need to enable the table pagination. So there is a, if I click on this particular column, okay, just a minute. Okay, under the column K, you have table pagination and by default that will be 0. Now you need to make 1. That means you are enabling the pagination. Okay, that is the first part. The next part would be updating the JavaScript. That I'll take you there. Before getting into the more about the JavaScript, we need to know what is the API that we have created. Okay. Generally, for a grid, we will be creating an API, correct? So similarly, here also the API is created if based on the parameter, whatever the parameter is required, all those information need to be given. Okay. Now, in this case, you need to create two APIs. One is general listing. For example, I'll show you. So this is an ordinary select command, whatever the detail is required from the particular table and with the conditions, whatever required. Okay, this is a list of information need to be displayed in the grid. Fine. Okay, that is done. So this is part one. This is generally we will be doing that. Apart from this, you need to add one more query. In this query, so in addition to the previous query, we need to have a count query. Like it will say how many records are there in the particular condition. Okay. So this is also, you need to, very simple, you need to have count star as the column name. I mean, you can give any column name, like for example, product count. So prod underscore CNT. Like that, you can give a column name, and that is how the system will generate. Okay. So once this is done, we will go back to the Excel. We'll show you how the JavaScript is been used here. Okay. Now, this part, up to this part, you are already familiar with. Okay. You need to add a product table control name, delete row function, add row function, and the first text object. Okay. The next part is we need to enable the pagination. So here also it would be 0. You need to make 1. Then table name total row count. Here where the table name comes, where the total row count has to be given. So that is where we are. So the prod summary is the table name of the total row count. That is what we are specifying here. And the column for total count. So column again for total count is again here. This is a column which we need to specify for the total count. Okay. Then the page-wise API. Page-wise API is same as the normal main API. The tag name, both are same. Okay. That is done. Then number of rows that you want to display in particular page. Like it can be 10 or 15, 20, depends upon the they need. Okay, so that you need to do. Okay, then it comes the pagination API subfunction. So I'll explain what is the subfunction does. Generally, the subfunction role is to add any additional variable informations like additional filter information. But in this case, it is going to be an empty function. I'll show you how the empty function need to be defined. That's all about the total thing. Now we will see what are the variables to be declared. So the variables to be declared are the product category ID, which is the condition that need to be passed in, then a lower limit, upper limit, filter string. Okay. The lower limit has to be a parameter. Why? Because we will be sending the value to the lower limit. Lower limit here means the offset, and the upper limit is number of rows. So the offset has to be sent as a parameter. So that's what we have specified parameter. And here 10 stands for the number of rows. This 10 and this 10 has to match. Okay. So that we need to see. Okay. Apart from that, everything is same. And the filter string. So filter string generally, these three parameters are primary parameters which will be utilizing here fully. So that's what we are displaying it here. The lower limit, upper limit, and the filter string. All these things are used. And the lower limit should be addressed as parameter, and the upper limit and the hidden strings are going to be the hidden. Okay, filter string are going to be hidden. Now the default value of the upper limit is 10, which is the number of rows in the to be displayed in the grid. Okay, so this part is done. So now see, we will see what are the changes required in the include function. Okay, so this is nothing but the upper part is similar, like whatever the JavaScript function we will be defining the same thing. Nothing special in this. And in the include file, these two functions are mandatory. That is the function number one called TBL page FNS and page get filter string. Okay. So these two function has advanced options. Like if you want to do more on the pagination, like you need to have more controls, then these two options need to be explored. That time we will explain you based on the requirement. That time we will discuss what alteration need to be done. By default, these two function has to be added in the include file. And this is nothing but the table name. Whatever you specified in the Excel, that table name is just added here. And the T control postmaster, and see, this is going to be the same. Like, and you need to add underscore PGNTN. Okay, alone this has to be added here and followed by this particular parameter. So this you need to note down. This is very important. Without this, the pagination won't work. So that you need to have in mind. So this part and this part are same. Okay. And you need to add underscore PGNTN. Okay. So if you want more detail on the JavaScript part, that I can explain you on a one-to-one basis if at all required. Okay. Until then, you can just copy this and paste whatever the instruction given, the pagination should work. And similarly, PG get filter string, this is also an function which is need to be copied. And the HT filter string is variable assigned to the assign object for the filter string parameter. Okay. So that is where we are using here. Okay. So these two things need to be maintained. Okay. Fine. So if both the things are done, then your pagination should be working. So you need to have this thing in mind. while working with pagination. Until then, take care. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.